Hello, welcome back to Data Driven Finance, brought to you by Envestnet Yodlee. I'm Mike Stiles, and my guest today is Jean-Paul LaClair, Senior Director of Product at Financial Data Exchange. Jean-Paul came out of Cornell University with a BA in Economics and Sociology, and prior to landing at Financial Data Exchange, worked at USAA and M&T Bank, among others. What we're talking about today is, in a nutshell, open finance powered by standards. Jean-Paul, thanks for being with us today.
Great to be here, Mike.
Well, let's start with you as a person. What do you think got you into what you're doing now? What happened in school or in your personal development of interest that got you into finance?
Yeah, years ago, as a fresh-faced branch banker, I found myself faced with a dilemma. The banking world I had entered was brimming with potential, yet constrained in some ways by its own traditional boundaries. It was a world where community was defined by geographical lines, and our ability to make a difference was measured by the reach of our local branches. But deep down, I knew that community was more than just a place. It was about shared experiences, challenges, and even shared dreams. And one day, I met a young couple, new to the area, looking to build their lives with a modest loan for a small business. Their enthusiasm was infectious, but their lack of financial history was a barrier. Traditional metrics didn't capture their true potential, and I was struck by the limitations of our conventional approaches. This moment, I suppose, was a turning point for me. It underscored the gap between services that we offered and the real human needs of the people we ultimately were aiming to serve. It was a narrative repeated in many forms, touching lives I knew we could help, but only if we could think beyond the confines of our branches. So, Mike, this realization propelled me into new roles where I could influence change on a broader scale, from expanding services to underserved communities to leading open banking strategies. Each step was guided by a vision to connect deeply with people's real financial lives. So my path ultimately led me to the Financial Data Exchange, FDX, where the challenge was not necessarily just technological, but profoundly human. How do we build a financial ecosystem that serves everyone, respect people's stories, and ultimately empower their financial wellness? So here at FDX, my role is about ensuring that our work in developing and implementing the FDX API, the FDX standard, is not just about facilitating data sharing, but also about crafting a open finance narrative that includes everyone. So it's about creating a platform where every transaction tells a story of empowerment, where each data point hopefully builds towards financial well-being, and where every individual, regardless of their starting point, can see themselves as part of a broader financial community. So kind of playing that all back, what got me into financial services? I suppose it was the realization that at the intersection of technology and finance lies this incredible power to transform lives, not only through transactions, but through people. So people with stories of ambition, resilience, and community. And at FDX, I just hope to be part of that ongoing work, working to ensure that the future of finance is open, inclusive, and filled hopefully for possibilities for all.
Now, when you were at the bank and all these things were becoming clear to you, I assume you took it to your higher-ups. Did they just kind of look at you like a confused dog? What was their reaction?
No, I think there was definitively a realization of potential. And that's where opportunities started really sparking themselves, where traditional roles of things like product management started evolving into spaces of finding this intersection of where new evolutions were occurring from a technological perspective, and how might the experiences of someone like myself, who was accustomed to sitting across tables from people with real problems and really trying to translate them into problem spaces that were at the desks of product teams at much higher levels within an organization. It wasn't it wasn't an easy beginning, but it was certainly a story that progressed.
I want to set the table here by first getting to what your definition of open finance is and why it's worth pursuing.
Sure. Open finance in some ways is similar and different to open banking, but open finance is this evolutionary step of where data was very confined to specific ecosystems to where it's ultimately trying to expand very much aligned with where the creator of that data the customer, if you will, is looking to take it. It's almost like a paradigm where consumers and businesses want to enjoy these seamless and secure access to a wide array of financial data across all different types of platforms and services. So what we're creating, although it's arguably being created by itself, is an ecosystem that's designed to promote innovation, foster competition amongst existing and new participants, reduce friction for making sure that those participants can work together in serving the end customer. And with the customer there, of course, enhancing the consumer choice. And I believe it's worth pursuing because at its core, it's all around democratizing financial services and making them more accessible and tailored to individual needs. No longer is it a one single product that has to be catered to millions. We can create a product that is more unique to each of those millions. And at FDX, we're championing this vision through the development and adoption of our FDX API, where we're laying the groundwork for that more interconnected and user-focused financial landscape.
Well, I can tell just by, what you were talking about, how you got interested in all this. You've always been really big on the human element of financial technology, especially the customer. How does open finance, you touched on it a little bit here, make my life better as just a regular old person?
Sure. Open finance is perhaps uncertain to certain individuals, but at the core, open finance fundamentally changes the game by personalizing and simplifying journeys for everyone. So let's think about this for a moment. Imagine Sarah, a single mother working 2 jobs. She's striving to provide for her children and ultimately save for their future. Traditionally, managing her finances would require juggling multiple accounts, keeping track of various loans and savings plans, all while trying to find the best financial advice within her limited time and resources. So with open finance, powered by standards we advocate at FDX, Sarah's financial world begins to change. Her banking app, her budgeting tools, and her savings plans have the ability to communicate seamlessly, offering her a single, more unified view of her financial landscape. She hopefully now begins receiving personalized advice, such as the best way to allocate her savings or how to consolidate her loans for lower interest rates, or all of this really just occurring directly through her financial apps. And it's not just about convenience, although that is certainly a benefit. It's about empowerment. Sarah can make informed decisions. She can save time and money and ultimately focus more on her family and less on navigating the complexities of our financial system. Now, through FDX, we're ensuring that the technical backbone of open finance is strong, secure, and centered on the consumer's best interests. And this means not just advocating for interoperability and data sharing standards, but also ensuring that these are implemented in a way that prioritizes security and privacy and the user's control over their own data. So for Sarah and millions like her, open finance isn't just a technical thing, a technological advancement. It's some ways an actual lifeline that brings financial goals within her reach and ultimately simplifies her world and should offer a much clearer path to financial wellness and security.
Well, you've laid out pretty well how FDX helps get us to that ideal open banking state, but it seems like an exercise in getting a lot of organizations and moving parts to agree and coordinate around not just the idea, but even the tactics and, like you said, the standards. I got to tell you, nothing about that sounds easy.
I wish I could say it was, Mike. Indeed, it's a complex endeavor. Yet what makes FDX unique is our collaborative approach. And saying something like collaboration sounds so easy, but the reality is we were able to show up in a way to customize our approach to supporting various participants in the ecosystem, whether those participants be your traditional financial institution, bank, credit union, a technology provider like a core provider or a data aggregator, or a fintech, the ones that are creating applications that are very unique and nuanced, but very much solving true, compelling customer problems. But it's not just there. We also have consumer advocacy groups and trade associations. It's a very broad membership. But my experiences here have taught me the power of bringing diverse groups together to forge consensus and do so while driving progress. So at FDX, we try to leverage this collaborative spirit to tackle challenges, whether that's aligning on security protocols for advocating user-centric standards for our API data structures, or anything else. It's just that the success today is arguably very much reflecting our commitment to inclusivity, balance, and objectivity in everything that we do.
It seems like possibly even more so than medical data, financial data tends to be highly sensitive for most people. What are the security concerns around open finance?
Yeah, security is definitively paramount. Security has a top of mind for any participant in this broader ecosystem. The banks, the people that are creating experiences, the people that are actually driving and needing those experiences, the customer. So it's, again, very much paramount. And at FDX, while we are steadfast in developing and promoting robust security guidelines, we're also acutely aware of the challenges, particularly in keeping pace with global standards. So for instance, enhancements in security standards, like those developed by the OpenID Foundation's financial grade API called FAPI, they set a high benchmark internationally. And there's a concern that certain jurisdictions, including North America, may lag in aligning with these enhancements. This gap isn't necessarily just a technical issue, it's also potentially a trust issue. And in an ecosystem where consumer confidence is incredibly important, ensuring that our security standards evolve at pace with, if not ahead of, global benchmarks is critical. So our commitment at FDX extends to closing this gap, and we are aiming to lead by example, pushing for adoption of security measures that not only meet but exceed these security standards. And it's all about continuing iterating and elevating as we learn more and as the whole ecosystem continues to grow. And it means advocating for, but also adopting best practices from around the world, including those by OIDF's FAPI, to protect our consumer data against evolving threats. And it's about ensuring that everyone has access and confidence as that data is actually secured in a seamless way.
But FDX operates on a membership model, right? So, I mean, who can be a member and participate in this?
Yeah, FDX is a membership-based organization open to a wide range of stakeholders. Our members include, as I said before, financial institutions, fintech companies, data aggregators, consumer advocacy groups, and many more. So this diverse membership helps us ensure that the standards we develop are inclusive and reflect the needs of all the parties that are involved in the financial data sharing process.
Well, so where do you see all this going? I mean, what emerging technologies do you think have the most potential to help you in your mission, and what are you getting most excited about as you look forward?
Yeah, reflecting on the story I shared earlier about that young couple, that transformative moment for me and their dreams of starting that small business, it's clear that the future of open finance is not just about technology. It's about connection. It's about understanding. And true interoperability facilitated by the FDX API is at the heart of this vision, where we're bridging that gap between tech and human experiences. So emerging technologies, certainly like AI, blockchain, advanced data analytics, they're all transformative tools in this journey. I think they hold the promise of not just enhancing security and efficiency, but of deepening our understanding of individual financial narratives. As an example, imagine a world where AI helps tailor financial advice to an individual's unique situation and aspirations, where blockchain ensures the integrity and privacy of their financial data. I guess I'm particularly excited about the potential of these technologies to realize that concept of financial wellness that I've spoken about a couple times here. It's not just about access to services. It's also about providing insights and advice that are actually meaningful. And for instance, using these technologies, we hopefully can guide individuals like the couple I met, helping them navigate their journey with confidence and security. And at FDX, the commitment is there, right? It extends beyond just the technical standards. So we are hoping to continue to foster that culture of innovation. And hopefully, it's is how we see the future of finance evolving. One that's certainly open, but also inclusive, empowering, and deeply connected to the stories of people it serves.
Well, Jean-Paul, thanks again so much for being with us. If listeners want to find out more about financial data exchange, what's the best way for them to do that?
For anyone interested in learning more about FDX and our work towards creating that unified and secure data sharing, I encourage you to visit our website at financialdataexchange.org. Here you'll find resources, white papers, and information on how to become a member. We're always eager to welcome new voices and perspectives to our mission.
Great, we appreciate it. And for you listening, don't forget to subscribe to the show so you don't miss these high-quality insights from around the financial and fintech space. And if you want to see how aggregated financial data might be of great use in your business, just visit resources.yodlee, that's YODLEE.com/podcasts. And we'll see you next time on Data Driven Finance.